All right, a very good evening or good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Devesh Lathi and I represent the Next Genius Foundation. And this is the session about the rise of IECs in India. And joining me on this call is a very fantastic Revathi Shivakumar, one of the best counselors in Mumbai, and not just in Mumbai, probably the whole of India, the president of AIIEC, and also a internationally credentialed leadership coach with over 2,000 hours of coaching experience. And here's me. I've been working with the Next Genius Foundation, supporting and helping students from around South Asia, helping them connect with life-changing scholarships in the US. So here is the topic. The whole idea of this webinar was we have seen tremendous growth in the number of IECs, and we understand that there is still more to come. There IECs as education is add tremendous value to a students' lives by supporting them, helping them, and gaining them a lot of understanding about the colleges. So I would let Reva talk more about this. Reva, let's start off with the three key questions about who IECs are, what do they do, and why there is a need of independent counselors right now.
Thank you, Devesh. Hello, everyone. Warm welcome. Good morning, good evening, depending on the time zone you are at. As Devesh said, I am an independent education counselor. Who are IECs? Independent education counselors are not affiliated to any schools. Independent, the word independent is key. It also means that we are not agents for any colleges or institutions. We work in the best interest of the student. There is no conflict of interest. We are independent and we help the students make informed decisions. And all that we do could start from as early as middle school, helping them with subject choices. As a career coach, I have a lot of instrument credentialing, like strong assessments. I help with all of that. Then through high school, mentoring them so they find who they are and they grow through the journey. The services that we offer can be very varied. There may be some IECs who just focus on the application and the pointy end, as it were, the application and the essays part. But for most of us, we meet the child where they are at, and we start the journey with them, understanding their personality, their style, their aspirations, okay, and what they need to get to where they need to go in a way that's authentic, and they grow through the journey. That is extremely important. A great college admission will anyway happen. There are amazing institutions, but how they make use of the opportunities, how immersive they make it. And that happens when we are there to guide them, to mentor them, and to coach them. And that is what we do. We help the students and the families make informed choices, get a lot of anxiety out of the process, because they are navigating unknown terrain, and we are like a Sherpa going and saying, hey, we know the lay of the land. And it's a very, very fulfilling work for all of us. For every IEC I know, this is work that means a lot to us personally. And somebody asked me once, so why do we need an IEC? We don't really need an IEC. One of the things that's happened is that over the years, what has happened is that I think there are some people coming in. Devesh, could you just let them in, Devesh? Yeah?
Yes, I'm taking care of it.
Yeah. As you all know, in 22-23, almost 2.7 lakh students went from India to the US. Last year, there was over 3.3 lakh students, over 330,000 students, and we even surpassed China last year. And why is there so much demand? Because if we understand that, then we'll understand why there's a need for IECs. When studying abroad, the quality of education is so much better. No matter what area you want to study, the quality of education is extremely good. And if we are looking in the context of the United States, a liberal arts education is so compelling. How many 16 and 17-year-olds know what they want to do with their lives? I was 50 when I figured out what I wanted to do. And a US education gives them that breathing room to explore and figure out what they want to do. Families are getting more affluent. There's an increasing ability to pay, which is why you have such a big rush of full-pay students coming into the US from here. When I was in college, going abroad was not even a possibility, continents away, you know. But today with technology, the world has shrunk. We are just 2 minutes away from, getting on a call or a FaceTime. And emotionally, it's becoming easier to let go, let the child go for opportunities. The international exposure is very compelling. And for many, it is a gateway to a better life going forward. There may be many who are willing to come back, but there are an equal number who want to see if that study abroad can be parlayed into internships and jobs and eventually settle down there. You saw the numbers and the context for why there is a desire to study abroad. In fact, the students that I'm mentoring, many of my South Bombay schools, a huge portion of the kids are going abroad. Maybe things will change over the years if India comes up with, and the subcontinent comes up with more and more options. But I think the demand is here to stay. And why do parents come to an IEC? Sometimes kids come from schools where there are no counselors. The principal just doubles as an IEC, but the family knows that there is somebody called the principal doubles as a school counselor, but the parents through somebody would have heard that, there are professionals out there who can really mentor your child and map it all out and help the child to get to where they want to go. So then they reach out saying, hey, our school doesn't have a counselor. We have no clue what to do. Can you help us? There are those parents, students who are in wonderful schools with superb, fantastic school counselors. But school counselors have a very tough job to do. They have to manage the whole cohort. They have so much in terms of reporting, in terms of logistics, in terms of student management, in terms of trustee and upward management. I have no idea how these school counselors do it. They are rock stars. They have to be on top of recommendation letters, on top of requirements, be in touch with colleges. They have to do everything. I'm sure they're all wearing wings under their suits, they're all really superb. But it leaves them with very little room to individually mentor a child. But as IECs, that is something we can do. I don't have administrative hassles or, I'm not duty bound to report. I'm not duty bound to do anything with anyone. It's my outfit. And the kids I take on, I get to really, really know them. And I can say, hey, this is a great program for you. If with your interest, can you look at these majors? Would you like to explore these? This is how you should do college research. Are you engaging with the colleges? Here are some questions for you to think about. Start thinking about your essays at various points, being their mentor, being their coach, being their collaborator, their guide, and sometimes, giving them a whack if it's needed. Basically, we are able to really curate and mentor these kids, as a result of which the journey becomes a lot less stressful. And I think that is one of the reasons why IECs are here to stay. I started this 8 or 9 years back when my daughter was going abroad for her undergrad. I was just researching for her. There were no boutique counselors that I knew of. And in the process of trying to understand what it was all about, I fell in love with it. And then every single kid across the years who's come to me has come through word of mouth. I haven't never done any marketing. I absolutely love what I do. But the real value for me started when I attended my first international ACAC conference online when during COVID in 2020. I think I had met admissions officers before because when I was doing my research for my daughter, every college that came to school, I went and attended the sessions, took notes, met with them and engaged with them. And the next couple of years, every time I went to drop her, I did meet colleges now and then, but it was largely wearing the hat of a parent. But as a counselor, when I attended the first online international ACAC conference and subsequently the in-person conference, it just blew my mind in terms of the learnings that I got. It changed a lot for me, within me, and in the way I was able to advise my students. Do you want to bring up the next pop-up, Devesh?
Yes, Reva. But before coming to that, Reva, I want to ask, what does a typical day for an IEC look like?
For me, for most of us who are independent counselors, during the weekdays, okay, mornings till about 3, 4 p.m. goes in a lot of work. It goes in research, goes in looking at the data of the last few years, connecting with any parents, talking to people who come to us for prospects, looking at data management, looking at what the teams are doing, researching colleges to see what colleges are doing. A lot of time goes in trying to learn more, one from our own data and past trends and from the industry, and saying, what can we do better? How can we do better? After 4 o'clock, when the students are all back home, we start our calls with our kids. Now, counselor to counselor, this varies. Some meet weekly, some fortnightly. I work Saturdays too. For me, Saturdays are extremely busy. And my husband has learned that if he needs time from me, he has to book my calendar. Actually, physically send a calendar invite and block my calendar. Otherwise, I tell him, sorry, my kids have taken the slots and I'm not free. Sundays are the only days I don't do meetings. Although this time I am meeting one person. And I do spend some time reading or, trying to figure out, for that child is doing this, but they are interested in ABC. What are the opportunities that one can discuss with them for them to explore that? I don't think I ever completely switch off. The days are very busy. And when admission cycles come in, the admission season starts, then it's madness. I'm sure at the other end of the table, all of you sitting there will know what I mean. We do everything and we push it to your end and then we breathe a sigh of relief and then the madness starts for you. And it's absolute madness. Sometimes till 3, 4 p.m., we don't even get time to go for a shower or have lunch because back to back calls, this, that, brainstorming on essays, nudging the children, because it has to be their voice. It has to be authentic. But still, if it's not where it should be, if the child is being lazy, how do you motivate the child? How do you help them look at things differently? So yes, it's, I used to have a busy season, a very busy season, and a not so busy season. I don't have that anymore. It's all busy and then madness, busy season and then mad season. Those are the only two areas right now, but I love it.
Fantastic. Thanks for answering that, Reva. Let's come to about why should admission officers engage with IECs?
I will first say something generic based on the experiences that some of us have had. And I also want to speak about AIEC, and then I will hand them over to you. The first international conference that I attended online, my very first, I just popped into one room and sat down with a top 10 university. And that gentleman spent 35 or 40 minutes with me answering every question I had. When I think back, I'm cringing because I must have asked a lot of rookie questions because I've never attended a conference wearing a counselor hat. But that person's answers were so amazing. It gave me so much clarity that even talking to that person, I could ascertain fit. 2 of my kids applied ED the next year and they are both studying there now. They're juniors there. Every time I speak with an admissions officer or engage with an admissions officer, I learn something more. It has been absolutely incredible. And for IECs, there is so much learning, right? To understand where the college is heading, what they're thinking about, what are institutional priorities, okay, what kind of kids will thrive there, understanding all that from the admissions officers. And for the AOs, we IECs make a big difference for our children. Every child I mentor, no college list, not a single name on the college will go through unless I say, yes, this makes sense. And most of the time the names work. But I also tell my kids, you must listen to your school admissions officers. If you want to do ED to X or Y or Z, and there are 8 kids with legacy and that school likes legacy, you're better served looking at something else. There are certain things where the child is evaluated in the context of their school. I will not be privy to because I don't know the class that the school counselor knows. So I think it's very important they take their advice and come to me. It's extremely important that we take their advice. But the final list, every name, short of signing off on it in blood, the parents seek assurance, right? Are you sure? Is this okay? Is that okay? Oh, today I'm in this meeting. Revathi, message me from wherever they are. Do you think it's worthwhile? I'm in this area. Should I drop in here? Should I visit there? Should I write? I said, yes, yes, yes. So we have so much that we offer our families in terms of advice. And if you engage with us and we get to know you, we can definitely, do better. I was on a personal trip to the US 2 weeks back. For 2 weeks, personal trip. But in the personal trip, I just rushed across to one uh, institute of technology that I'd never been to. And I came back and told my team, for these kids, it has to go on the list. Last year, the year before last, after the International ACAC conference, I went to upstate New York. Denver's here. Syracuse, Rochester, quite a few places that I visited. When you visit, when you interact, it makes a big difference. Dhara is here. I've seen TCU only from the outside. I haven't been in. But because I've interacted with her, I know what they stand for. There are families, when they have events happening. I've had families interact very, very closely with TCU. And this year after the conference, I'm doing the Ohio tour. And I'm really looking forward to it because this is going to be another 8 institutions that I'm going to come to know. And when I enter a campus, more often than not, I know, hey, this would be a great fit for child ABC. And sometimes I send them videos from there. I send them messages from there. You must immediately check this out. This is so you. And the kids get excited. So when you as AOs engage with us, we are like your brand ambassadors. And we can also give you, we have a finger on the pulse of what's really going on and we can share information and knowledge with you. One of the things I've been telling many of the smaller liberal arts colleges is, for the love of God, please bring economics STEM and psychology STEM, because amazing institutions are getting knocked off because we don't have the STEM OPT. And that's a no-brainer for most of our kids. So stuff like that. One of the things that we did is Devesh and I did a very small survey that he will take us through, because how can you engage? Okay, can we show that? How do you engage meaningfully? So first one is AIIEC. We started something. Hi, Renee. I'm only seeing you now. Hi. We started an association 4 years back called the All India Independent Education Consultants. If you all know Neeraj Mandana of Next Genius, that was his brainchild. And I was part of the founding team. And I'm the president. I've been the president for the last 3 years. We were a group of 9. We are about 70 counselors today. We have no counseling industry body, as it were, in India. And we also have counselors of Indian origin or working with the Indian diaspora from 2, 3 other countries. Our numbers are growing. We have a vetting procedure. We have a code of ethics. We are learning together, growing together, and together in any admission cycle, if we are 70 of us, we must be mentoring over 2,000 students. And that is not a small number. When we have students having amazing experiences, when we have met with AOs, when we visited colleges and we come back and share. This college that I went to, when I went to the East Coast holiday, one of the IECs told me, Reva, you're going on a holiday. If you can spend half a day, just go by and swing by and see this place. I swung by and I loved it. Lynn happened because of you, Devesh. You said, if you're going to Miami for the conference, Reva, you must go to Lynn. And I have a child there who says, forever you're my second mother. That's how he treats me because you sent me to Lynn. I mean, there are so many gems all over. How do we come to know? It's only when we engage. So AIEC, we would love for you to, get to know us more, our independent association, engage with us, do sessions for us, do fly-ins. And of course, Devesh has the India tour that he can do for you. We put together a small survey, like a back of the envelope kind of a thing survey. And Devesh, maybe you could take them through the results, let the numbers.
Yes. Thanks, Eva. So before we go to the survey, another meaningful way for you to engage with the ICs is the India tour. Now, I run the Next Genius India tour every year. Over the last 3 years, we have been doing this tour every fall. And this year's tour, we are doing it from September 8th till September 18th. And we are going to be visiting Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, and Indore. Every city that we go to, we always host a counselor's dinner. And these dinners are very well attended with the IECs in those cities, the independent counselors. We work very closely with these independent counselors because we truly believe that uh, they add tremendous values to the lives of the students. Plus, they understand which college from the next genius list would be right for their students. And that's why we always invite independent counselors to these dinners. So, yeah, I would share more information about the tour with you via email in the coming days. But here is the survey that Reva has been talking about. We recently did a survey and we had almost 40 independent counselors uh, and some of the best, many of them being AIIC members, reply to our surveys. And I'm showing you 3 questions that they responded to and the responses to those questions in the order of how many people selected that specific option. So the first one is, how do you think an IEC can add value to a university? How can an IEC add value to a university? And as Reva was sharing, that first of all, they would share about that university with their cohort, and they would encourage them, if it's a right fit, to include that university on the students' college list. So those are the top 2 things that all the IECs said they could do if, in terms of adding value to a university. Then, interestingly, that many of them said that they can actually give you inputs on how to do your outreach in India. That is something, which is they could really provide lots of insights to you in terms of their cities and other region specific things. Some of the IECs also said that they would be happy to share about you on their social medias. The second question was, why does an IEC feel that uh, engaging with the university directly is important to them? And everyone said that they want to learn about the universities firsthand. Yeah, so you can imagine how important it is for the IECs to actually engage with you directly, and for you, of course, to engage with them one on one. Second thing is, of course, many IECs understand what institutional priorities are. What are some of the factors that you are looking at? What are some of the factors that you're looking at while creating your next incoming class? So IECs understand your institutional priorities, and that is how they can actually carefully uh, add a college to a student's list. The third one is being in direct contact with the IECs. Many of you are India representatives, and receiving faster responses on queries is exceptionally important. And 4 in 5 IECs said that that is one of the key things why they want, why university engagement is important to them. Then, of course, visiting campus to have a better understanding of the culture and location, and feeling confident about recommending it to the university to their students. And my third point is, third question was the best way for a university to engage with the IECs. Number one, the top way was in-city meetups. So I think the uh, the word is clear. They really value the in-city meetups. So traveling to India, traveling to this part of the world is non-negotiable. I think if you're really working on growing your numbers in India, being here in person absolutely holds tremendous value. But the very second point is, of course, Zoom meetings. So for many of you who cannot travel, of course, please get on one-on-one Zoom meetings with these fantastic independent counselors who would be very happy to engage with you. AIIEC Fair, Reva just shared about the AIIEC association that she runs, and they recently did a conference near Mumbai where they invited universities from around the world, and that is also a very popular way of engaging with the IECs, followed by fly-ins and of course emails and WhatsApp communications. I'll pause over here, Reva. Any additional tips, points that I'm missing that you would like to add here?
No, I don't think. I think it's pretty exhaustive. I think the fly-ins make a big difference because no matter how much we speak in sitting in a hotel in Mumbai, it is not a substitute for visiting your campus, seeing your students, seeing your facilities, and getting the tour. Every college I have gone to, without exception, I have loved. Because that's how many great institutions are there in the US. So, and yes, when you're in India, give us enough notice and we would love to meet you. I think if you tell us, AIIEC, we have counselors in so many cities. So if you write to us, you can take my email address from Devesh, you send an email and that's it. We just share it with all our counselors in that particular city and you will have people coming. And if Devesh is leading, there will be that many more people coming to meet you also.
Superb. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rema. Thanks everyone for joining. We are open for Q&A now, but this was very insightful. Thanks, Reva, for agreeing to do this session
At all.
with Next Genius.
Any questions at all, please?
Yes. So we are a small group. Please feel free to unmute yourself and just ask a question. You'll be able to unmute yourself now. Please just feel free to unmute and just ask the question. I have a question from Jade. Are there times of the week or days that are better for in-person meetups than other days? So is there a specific day that, or a specific time of the week that you would prefer to meet counselors?
Well, if it's a breakfast, it can be any morning, I guess. But if it's an daytime meeting is impossible. You know, the madness that's our traffic and the roads. Evenings, preferably a Thursday or a Friday, but we are fine. If you are coming from continents away, we are not going to be fussy about this day and that day. It has to be a breakfast meet or a late evening meet, and we just need enough notice so we can plan around it.
Yeah. Let me also add my 2 cents here. See, I try to host these events for independent counselors, and not just independent counselors, but school counselors. Uh, Understanding the city geography is important. Understanding the regional festivals, regional preferences is important. Cities like Bangalore have a north and a south. If you do an event in the north, no one from the south of Bangalore is going to show up, and vice versa. Mumbai is a completely linear city, again, just like north and south of Bombay. So hosting an event in the north versus hosting an event in the south, I think that's going to be tricky. Delhi is a huge, massive circle. So again, it gets tricky on where you host that dinner. Time of the day, again, all these top cities of India, the traffic is incredible. Yeah. You just have to ensure that, either if you are doing a dinner, uh, try to host it in an event where in a place where the traffic is going in the opposite direction. It's not easy to figure that out, but some of those small nitty gritty is something, we these IECs would be happy to help you with it. Catch an IEC from that city, say, eat their brain out and ask them, where should I host this event? This is what I'm planning. I'm planning to bring in 10 counselors or X number of counselors. Please help me out with it. And they would, I'm sure most of them would be very happy to help you out with events like these. I mean, honestly, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised during the survey when I found out that many of the ICs are actually keen on helping the universities with their outreach related activities. So yeah, any other questions? Reva, yes, go
One
ahead.
thought that I wanted to share. One of the things that we do in AIIEC is that we do have, we invite colleges to host sessions for us. But if it's a 45-minute session, what would really be valuable is to do at least 30 minutes of it for some professional development for the IECs. Because we know you guys largely, we know your websites, we've been interacting with you. We do want 10, 15 minutes to understand, hey, what are the new majors? What are your institutional priorities? What are the things we should know to advise our kids? But the first 30 minutes, if it can be used to, you know, teach us something, share something that you may have come across, practices that you've seen in other parts of the world, or any insights, because at the end of the day, we are all in it together, that can help us learn and grow. I think it would be a tremendous value add that you would do even in an online session.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Reva and Devesh, sorry. Oh, I unmuted myself and went before you called on me, but I could wait if someone else was on the queue.
No, absolutely, Renee. Please feel free. Yeah.
Well, hi, everyone. Reva, so good to see you. Thank you for the insightful information, and Devesh for putting this together. I think that survey was really valuable in helping us on this side of the desk to look at what the different types of events and things for planning. But I see an opportunity for summer. I hear you, Reva, when you say that the number of students that you manage, the number of families that you're in touch with. And I'm wondering if what is the landscape for summer activities remote, not in person, but for example, for like a Zoom webinar or that we could host with some of the with some of the points that you just mentioned. We've got to share more. Would IECs be interested? I'm not really familiar with what that landscape is of activities for the summer.
Yeah. This is for the IECs, not the students, right? We would love to have
one, I think it's very directed to the IEC with some professional developments and updates for IECs, but also to do for students and families.
Okay. For the IECs, we typically do 2 webinars in a month with different people who we've approached or who've approached us. And for the next 3 months, it's been scheduled. Because IECs are super busy, we don't want fatigue to set in where nobody lands up. So we keep it once in 2 weeks. So we can speak later, Renee, and see, okay, what is it that you could possibly do and what's an early slot possible? For students, it's a mixed bag. When we do an online webinar, okay, we did try it last year. I traveled when Devesh was traveling, Devesh and Neeraj, I traveled with the 2 of them representing AIEC and came back and with great enthusiasm put together a series of webinars for students. Some webinars saw 150 attendance. One or two just saw 25, 30 attendance. So we are really, really unable to predict. So anything that is being done for the students will have to go with a lot of run up and information and creating a buzz. So if you have somebody in country kind of a thing who can do all that, it becomes easier. But you will need to plan to create that buzz if it's going to be online training.
Okay.
And then to have your students, whether it's nearby or there are so many next genius kids who are with you, to have them speak. Your best brand ambassadors are the students from here who are there, who love each of the institutions they are at. To send snippets of videos, just to create that buzz and excitement and awareness. And then when we say, hey, attend, this is worth it, then the numbers would come. Otherwise, for student webinars, we are not able to predict.
Okay, thanks for the pointers, and yes, I think putting the students, current students in front of the camera, or creating that buzz that you mean, that's what students want to hear, right? At the end of the day, they relate more to the students than what they can relate to us. So thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? Any observations? Is there anything that you would have liked to hear that we didn't talk about? Anything that you hoped we would cover, but we didn't?
Revathi, I have one question for you.
Go
Yes,
ahead, go ahead, Denver.
Nice to see you again.
nice to see you.
I want to know, obviously a lot of IECs would put the students' need ahead of, their parents. But how often does that actually succeed? The student wants a name college, and the parent wants a named college, but a certain small liberal arts college would be more suitable for them.
It depends on the IEC. Really, how much
Okay.
we can. I have actually told parents, it's not you going to college, back off. But with that said, I know they come from a position of love. So it is only about telling them, and when they know that we really see the child, they do get
Okay.
open. One of the things that's not negotiable is, and sometimes it's like, especially after COVID, is we need to have some family member in that city or the next city. See, some of those things we cannot argue with, because I've sent my daughter to the US to study undergrad. I know what it is to send them continents away, and I respect that. But if it is only about rank and brand name, I think we are getting there. And I do have students looking at great opportunities, which may not be the Harvard and the Princeton that they initially thought were the only names they were willing to consider. I've had parents say, only Harvard and Princeton. If there's no choice, we will look at you, Chicago. If there is no choice. I mean, we've heard stuff like that from parents. So NYU's turn, if there's nothing else, okay, we'll see. So I tell that, all the colleges are not standing in line waiting for you, so it's a journey. It's a journey. So we all grow together.
Right. Thank you, Revathi.
Anything else?
Hi, Revathi. I am happy to see you again. I don't have any questions, but yes, my meeting with you is still pending.
Yeah, we will catch up. Yes.
Yes, because it's almost going to be a year now with TCU. So probably when the first time I met you, I did not have many answers to it. But of course, now when I meet you next time, I will have a lot of answers to your questions.
Every time we've spoken on the phone between you and Samita, you've had a lot of answers for me. So I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? Any observations? Are there any experiences that you want to share that will help us understand where you're coming from better, or make it easier for you in some way? Anything at all?
I want to ask something to you. See, Revathi, nowadays everything is available on social media through Google. How do you, this will help me with your experience, or maybe many years for me to understand. But, if a student walks into you, like, comes and talks to you, how do you talk about the competition about the universities? They will compare, because they'll say, okay, this is a university which is giving you scholarship. What is something different what you're giving? Every universities give scholarship. Some universities give, some universities don't, and all what they're going to talk about is only Ivy League, because everyone wants to get to Ivy League colleges.
No. See, we do a college broad list for our kids. And then we help them with the short list. And 80% of the names at least stays there. There may be some last minute tweaks. So all these conversations happen early on. Most of my kids are full pay kids. But for the 2-3 who are in need, other things being equal, the money will make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. If they are in a similar range of colleges, the money will make a difference. And I do give advice, but at the end of the day, I want the child to do enough research, because I tell the child, this is your home for the next 4 years.
Right.
And it should be a place where you can see yourself growing, learning, where you see yourself. And it's all about fit. Because any of these, the bragging rights and all of that is for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Later is reality. And I don't think I've ever had a child who's gone to a place and regretted saying this was not, they're very, very happy where they are. So I guess it's all worked out.
Okay.
But we encourage them, all of us. I can speak for a lot of my colleagues in AIEC who are not here today. We encourage them, look at fit, look at fit. That is the best yardstick. Where you go is not who you will be. Look at fit.
Yeah.
So
I have a question.
yes, Hector.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for the presentation. And as you were talking and you were saying how, everything's growing, that you started with 9 people and now you have a great number of IECs. So I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
My perspective, having worked in India, and when I was there was hardly any IECs, and some of the ones that were coming up didn't have enough experience and were doing it more for the money. So it's definitely positive to hear that there's passion and people who really learn. So I wanted to ask you, and I think this is kind of a personal question from the perspective of, how do you, or those IECs who love what they're doing, make a difference in terms of standing out from those who just care for the money? Because there's a lot of those out there. So anything that, that you can give, any tips on how you separate yourself from those who just want to do it for the money?
When you do it for the money, it's very transactional. You do a lot of tick the box. I mean, I've had people pay huge sums of money elsewhere and then come to me because the person is not available. And for me, it's a sacred trust. If a family has come to me at this point in their journey, the child has come to me, I've been in their shoes not too long ago. And I think it's a trust that I need to honor. I become like an extension of the family. So I'm still there. I still scold them. I push them. I do all of that. But I'm always available. There are times when I tell them, please don't message me on Sunday at 2 in the morning saying, Reva, auntie, are you awake? And there are parents who, they've done their work. They've done anything at 11:30, this mother would start messaging. Then I told her, look, I will reply to you tomorrow. If you can hold the questions, hold the questions. So I have learned to set expectations better, establish a few boundaries so that at midnight, I'm not sitting and doing messages. Initially, I didn't even have those boundaries. But other than that, I think helping the families make informed decisions, understanding that their anxiety comes from a place of love and concern, and seeing what can we do to ease it. And helping the child grow through the process. I have so many parents tell me how their child has changed over the journey. And I think that makes a difference, because it's not about, okay, do A, B, C, D, tick the box. Okay, You have a 2-page resume. You've paid me, you have a 2-page resume, job done. 12 colleges, job done. But if I can help the child grow through the journey and have an authentic narrative, a narrative that they truly own because of their immersive experiences, then wherever they go, they'll shine. If that.
Thank you. That will shine through, yes, even for the IECs as well.
Yeah.
That passion. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hi, Revathi. I had a quick question. I'm just
Yes,
going to turn on video so you can see me. How are you?
Hi.
So much for this session. Thank you, Devesh, too. My question was, we're in sort of deciding season, and I'm curious, finally when all the offers come in, sort of what role do you play, or is it more of a family final decision at this stage? As they receive all their offers, what happens at this stage?
Okay. ED, it's done and dusted. It's party time when it comes through, ED1 or ED2. EAs, depending on the EAs, sometimes a child has said, Reva, auntie, I don't even want to do RD. I've got my dream EA and I'm done. Otherwise, we wait for all the offers to come in. And I actually help them evaluate. I actually sit and do weighted, unweighted. And then what are the things they should do? We connect. In AIIEC, we are extremely collaborative. I may not have a child in all the 150, 200 colleges and universities that my kids may be looking at. But we post, do you have a child here? Do you have a student there? Will there be anybody willing to speak? Within 5 minutes, there are 2-3 kids, 2-3 parents. And when we are 60, 70 of us sharing all the information, giving them a connection to students to speak with, it makes a difference. And this is where also our own experience comes in. If I can say authoritatively, hey, you have to choose between A and B. Both are great. Both are very good. But I visited A and I can vouch for how good they are. I actually did that for one place and the child has committed there in upstate New York. Okay. The other place is also supposed to be fantastic, which is why we have that name on the list. Reva, have you visited? I said, no, not yet, but I will. Okay. Other things being the same, if you visited here, then the child also did the research and said, Reva, auntie, I love this place, and they go there. But parents do take our inputs. We do have discussions with families. We do ask them to do some research. And that is something I tell a child, don't outsource it because it's you have to be there for 4 years. And then once you've done some research, once you've spoken to the people we've connected you to, let's meet. We may meet even twice sometimes and have 2 more phone calls because it's a big decision.
Yeah.
And then the child commits and then they are happy.
Okay, so it's a lot of the trust. That's what I wanted to understand. It's that factor, I suppose, that you've built over time and sort of trust.
Yes. That trust
rather than
definitely helps. In many cases, see, parents do like to look at ranks.
Yeah.
Right? US News is God. Okay. But with that said, when I give them very specific reasons, I get to know my kids. This are the reasons why your child will be better off here and there. They sit up and listen. And at the end of the day, it's collaborative.
Yeah.
And I'm also very, very clear. I will give all my inputs, okay, to help them make an informed decision. But at the end of the day, it's their child, their journey. I'm here as an advisor and well-wisher. And wherever they decide to go, they go. But I've never had a child go to a place where I've been unhappy that they paid to that place. Never.
Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Superb. We are almost coming towards the end of the session now. Reva, any final thoughts or anyone has any final questions before we close?
Can I have a question, Devesh?
Yes, please go ahead, Arminder.
Yeah, hi, Revathi. This is
Hi.
Harminder. I recently associated myself with the University of San Diego.
Oh, nice.
Revathi, what is it that in a campus puts you off? I mean, when you go and view any university campus, what is it that you primarily look at? Because each region has a different kind of, requirements and stuff like that. what do you primarily look at if you go to a university, let's say in US or UK?
I do look at, it's not about what puts me off, because what something may not be for me, but it may be great for my kid. I wouldn't want my prejudices to come in the way in any way. But what I do look for, the kind of programs, the kind of culture, how welcoming, how happy and safe will the child be there? Because I think a happy child is going to engage a lot more. A happy child means happy parents here too. So the quality of the programs, opportunities for international students. There are places which are fantastic on paper, but international students, there's hardly any support and nurturing. But then there are places which give them amazing exposure and support. And I think that kind of nurturing is something that I look for. And when I make the college list for the families, I do ask them factors which are important to them when I do the broad list. So I do, okay, if a child wants to be in the hills and the mountains, giving them a city, no campus, city block is not going to help. If a child is a city kid, giving them something which is completely rural won't help. So I always look at colleges and campuses in the context of my kids. I'm not judging them as absolute. So this puts me off or that puts me off. I don't think I've ever been to a campus where I've been actually put off by anything. I do appreciate small touches. I remember it was brutally hot and somebody had one of those golf carts and they gave us that to go around the campus. I feel a warm glow of love for that university every time I think of them. So those small things, yes. But other than that, every college has something to offer. So it's just about the right fit for the child.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. One more question. How many applications do you usually encourage your kids to fill in? One child, you know, how do you do it? I mean, you have your safe zone, you have, best fits, then you have aspirational. So how many applications does a kid fill?
Uh, the number of applications is largely limited for many kids as per their school. Okay. But for the schools that don't limit, I tell them not more than 12 to 15 applications. 12 is ideal. I tell them very clearly nothing is safe. Oh, my so-and-so told me I will definitely get in there. I said, why do you have 8 buildings in your name? There is no guarantee. Okay, there are no guarantees. There are likelies. And depending on the child, it could be maybe 70% that's top heavy. For some kids, it could be 50-50. It could be 30% top heavy. It depends on the child. I want each of them to have at least 4-5 offers out of their 12. And I think every cycle I do have kids getting at least 50% of their colleges that they apply to, so they can really have their choices. It's never exact, Harminder, that, okay, you'll do 4 aspirational, 4 target, 4 likelies. No. It could be 7-5, it could be 8-4, it could be 4-8. It depends on the child and the profile and how much they want to reach.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was really helpful. So, does your group of counselors also keep upskilling yourself? I mean, do you make them also attend the university information sessions or something like that, wherein they are also equally informed? Like you are bound to travel, you do a lot of travel. What about the rest of the people who are
Oh,
associated with?
all my IECs at International ACAC, for those of you who are there, we're going to be 10, 15 of us at least, maybe 20 of us. We traveled to London together last year. We're going to Singapore later this year. And yeah, we travel together. We visit colleges together. We're a very close-knit group. We collaborate. And everybody's, Harminder, all about learning. And what is so beautiful is we have knowledge sharing sessions where somebody who's an expert on community college will do a session for the rest of us. Somebody who's an expert on transfers will do a session for the rest of us. Somebody who's an expert on architecture or design will do a session for the rest of us. So we also teach one another.
That's really fantastic. Thank you so much, Revathi. It was so informative. Lovely interacting with you. I do wish to connect with you. Of course, I've asked Devesh to share your details and we can
No
connect.
worries. No
Thank
worries.
you. Thank you so
Forward.
much.
Thank you.
Superb. thank you so much, everyone. It's a Friday morning for some of you and Friday evening for some of us. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you so much once again, Revathi.
It was a
You
pleasure
are,
to be here.
yes, thank you for, I hope to have you on many, many more sessions in the future.
Be my pleasure.
Insightful. Thanks everyone. Thanks all of you
Thank you,
for joining.
everyone. Take care.
Thank you,
Take care. Bye.
Devesh. Thank you for organizing the
Thank
whole
you, guys. Thanks,
Thank
Devesh.
you.
event for us.
Bye.
Bye.
Really appreciate
Thank
the